Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Net Zero Nuclear Pavilion. Today, we have a very interesting topic that we'll discuss. With me, I have 5 panelists from across Africa and Sweden, fortunately, but she's also an African to some extent. So the topic that we'll be dwelling on today is the link between energy poverty and environmental pollution. For this moment, I would like to thank our panelists for agreeing to come to our discussion today to give us an insightful discussion on this topic. With me, I have Ms. Patricia, who is Director for RePlanet Africa. Could you tell us what is this topic means in your own geographic and economic context?
Thank you, Amanda. It's really a pleasure to be here this afternoon. Like I was introduced, my name is Patricia Nantesa, and I serve as the Director of RePlanet Africa. What this topic means to me, basically just shedding a light on the biomass fuels. I come from Uganda, and we use 90% charcoal and firewood for our cooking fuel. What that means is that because we have very limited access to electricity, we are forced to use biomass fuels to cook our food, that is charcoal and firewood. Firewood comes from the forests. So because of our energy poverty, we are forced to destroy our environment. Not because we want to destroy our environment, we are left with no option. So what this means is that we are seeing people in Africa or people in Uganda, if we have this conversation without paying attention to the social implications of energy poverty, it would be us telling the people of Uganda, choose between eating or saving the environment. And that is a choice that should not be given to anyone. So as we go forward in the discussion, maybe we'll talk about solutions and what we can do about that. But that is my context. In order for us to eat food, we must destroy our environment, not because we want to, but we have limited options. Hydroelectric power is expensive, liquefied natural gas is expensive, but we would love to use these cleaner sources of energy. Thank you.
As the Director of RePlanet, are there actionable and sustainable strategies in place to tackle the mentioned issues of environmental pollution in energy disadvantaged communities?
I love that question, Amanda, because we are launching a campaign called Switch on Africa tomorrow in the Blue Zone. So this is an open invitation to all of you. Please come to the Blue Zone. We shall communicate the room early in the morning where we are launching this campaign. Now, the Switch on Africa campaign is a campaign that is looking to address energy poverty. In other words, we want to light our continent because, like we have had, most of us are below 30% access to energy, and we want to move that to 100%. So what particular activities are we engaged with in this campaign? Although we are launching it, we have already had some activities taking place. But first and foremost, I would like to bring to our attention that the World Bank defines the basic minimum of energy access as having access to electricity 4 hours a day, and those 4 hours don't have to be consistent. They can be intermittent 4 hours a day, and you can light one light bulb and a switch. So when they come to our countries, that is what they are providing. They have a very great project called Rural Electrification Agency. It's been very active in Uganda and probably maybe other African countries, but that is the bare minimum. When they work to improve energy access on the continent, they are saying we want everyone to have access to a light bulb, a socket, and electricity 4 hours a day intermittently. We heard from Ia and what she was talking about. It felt like stuff out of the movies. For her, life comes to an end if her washing machine can't work. In Africa, the World Bank is saying one light bulb. So this campaign is saying, no, you must change that policy. We want 100% access to electricity, not intermittently, on a stable basis. If my house has 6 light bulbs, I need to light 6 light bulbs. I should be able to power my washing machine. My children should play games if they want to and do everything else that the Global North is doing. So that is the very first activity. We are saying no to this policy. It must change so that when they come to our countries, they are giving us more than mere survival. Secondly, we are calling on African governments to increase their energy mix. My country is very big on hydroelectric power because we have access to water. and that is great. There is also a limit to hydroelectric power. We are saying consider solar, consider wind, and consider nuclear. My country, Uganda, has considered all these four. They're also considering nuclear, and we are saying kudos to them. We are saying kudos to Kenya. We are saying kudos to Ghana that just signed that agreement recently of tripling nuclear energy just 2 days ago. Nigeria is having talks. Egypt is having talks. So there are like 10 countries that are considering nuclear energy, and we are saying well done, but please move beyond planning. Let us see these small reactors being constructed and power actually being sent to the grid and being used. So African countries, we are saying, consider nuclear, consider all the clean energies in the energy mix. This particular message goes to the African Union because when they met in Nairobi in August and they presented the energy plan, the continental-wide energy plan, nuclear energy was not in the mix. It is a laughable joke to think that we are going to lift Africa into prosperity on wind, on solar, and hydroelectric power. The other day, I asked our friends from the global north if any of them powers their economies on wind and solar, and none of them said yes. Why does the AU think that Africa can do that? So to the African Union, we are saying, bring nuclear on board. And we are not just here for nuclear. We are saying together is better. We want all the clean energy sources. So we shall be delivering a petition later in the year to the African Union. And then finally, to the ordinary Africans, we have come up with an energy pledge. We are asking Africans to pledge to reduce charcoal use. Our governments are going to put in place bans, but we know that charcoal has been banned on the continent for so long, and yet this trade is still thriving. It's illegal and thriving because we are fueling this trade. So I want to tell African men and women that it takes a tree 7 years to grow. And that one tree, when it is cut down, it gives you only 1 bag of charcoal. An average African family of 6 people uses that bag of charcoal for maybe 2 weeks. It takes nature 7 years to grow a tree, and you destroy it in 2 weeks. So we are calling upon you to please also take responsibility. The pledge is up. We are launching it tomorrow. And we are asking Africans to please sign this pledge, sign it and reduce charcoal usage in your homes. Slowly but surely. We are not saying stop it immediately, but most of us in urban areas, we can afford fairly cleaner sources of energy, like let's say LNG. Please move away from biofuels as our governments bring nuclear on board, as our governments continue implementing all these bans, and the World Bank revises its policies. Let us also take initiative. So those are the 4 activities that we are involved in. And again, I reiterate, please come tomorrow if you're interested in these details. The Africans here, I request you to please sign that pledge and leave it out when you go back home. Thank you very much.
We have seen in the past 2 days, there has been a historic moment of tripling nuclear. Ghana and Morocco are the only African countries that pledged to this. What is your perspective on the pledge and if it will address the energy poverty and environmental pollution in your countries and affected communities?
Thank you, Amanda. I think that pledge will definitely trickle down to our countries in Africa. I guess it's just human nature to like having this herd immunity. You want to first see someone else do it and then you become comfortable. You're like, okay, they have done it. And it's even better when someone who looks like you does it. There were 22 countries, beautiful. But for me, the most exciting country in that list is Ghana, because Ghana looks like me. Ghana has my challenges. And them making that pledge, I see it trickling down to other African countries, us feeling more comfortable, and then we shall go down that road. Definitely it's going to trickle down to other countries.
Thank you so much. And we have come to the end of our discussion, and I would like to give most thanks to Net Zero Nuclear for giving us the incredible opportunity of organizing this in their pavilion. And we do not inherit our world or our earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. So we should remember that, and we should make sure that we go for clean energies such that we have a sustainable, and I have a new term that I would like everyone to think of, just equitable energy transition. So let's go think about that, and then we can implement the solutions in our communities. Thank you very much.